so many thoughts. Okay, the first thing I always used to say, and I still say it, is like, you need to know where you're aiming the rocket ship before you put the fuel in it. And I feel like the first 3 years of Crown Affair was like, where is this ship going? So that to me, especially coming from all these like high growth at all costs consumer brands that like would spend $1 million by the time we started talking just now, you know? And I think we all inherently know that the value of that customer isn't there. It worked when it was just really cheap and easy to acquire people online. But now you really need, to me, it's just like, it really is as simple as like creating a product that people actually want. Like not forcing people to buy something. Like I probably shouldn't give shade, but there's a shoe brand out there that I'm like, why do people want to see their toes through this shoe? Like the wool. I'm just like, no one actually, well, I know there are probably guys that are like, I live in these shoes, but like, I don't know. I just think there's something about like creating something that people actually want and desire. And LVM, I was talking to the LVMH team the other day and like, they were like, there's just this desirability element of something that like you can't fake. You can't pay for it. And the other thing is like time, it doesn't matter how much money, how many resources, like the truth is the most valuable thing for a brand in terms of acquiring customers is time in market. Like I will tell you this because I think hair care is the slowest category of beauty. Like the amount of people I talk to, customer interviews, friends, customers, whatever it is, they're like, yeah, I'm just finishing whatever's in my shower. Or like I've been buying It's a 10 for 15 years or Moroccan oil. Like it takes people so much time to change their behavior. People are, I think nobody knows Crown Affair. Like the people who get it and know it, but like it might be year 8 that people are all of a sudden like, oh, I've seen that thing, I'm going to try it. So you have to have patience and sit on your hands and realize that no matter how much money you throw at it, you cannot artificially grow a brand. And I think I saw that firsthand working at these businesses. It's like, you can't really move fast and break things because those things aren't things, they're people.
Yeah.
And like the other thing too, it's like, customers go in and out. Like you can't just acquire all these customers and hope they're going to stay. Like you have to give them a reason to stay. And the answer to your question is like, there's so much I left on the table. Like I'm talking to you in a way that's like, this is not perfect. And I wish I had the gene in me. Like I always joke with you. I'm like, I feel like we have two opposite sides of the brain and together we make like one perfect human, which is like, I'm creating and making assets and storytelling and showing up in the world IRL for me and for us. And it's so authentic to who I'm building this for. And I wish I had the gene to make like an ad that like acquired people that was like kind of corny or like tricky, but like my whole thing is like I don't want anybody to order Crown Affair and feel like they were tricked.
Yeah.
I want you to order Crown Affair and it shows up in the box and you open it and you're like, whoa, this is nice. And I'm really proud to own this. And it's a little bit harder and a little bit slower. And that's a whole other conversation around investor philosophical alignment. And even from day one, it was really interesting because when I raised my seed round, I think I've probably taken, in the last 5 years, I've probably taken over 600 investor meetings at least. And sometimes you leave those meetings and you're like, I'm good if I never see this person again.
Yeah.
And then there's some where you're like, oh wait, they get it. And I think I'm going to give a shout out to Andrew Mitchell, who was my lead seed investor. He has a firm called Brand Foundry Ventures. He invested in me, Crown Affair, Vacation, and Starface.
Wow.
Within the same month in 2019.
All like very strong brands.
Correct. And all very different brands.
Yeah.
Like very different. And I always joke whenever investors, I'm like, just look at whatever Andrew Mitchell was doing in like the back half of 2019 if you're like a later stage investor. Because I remember him saying to me, he's like, I don't want you to spend $1 million to make $1 million. Like, go slow. That is not a real business. Like, take your time. The reason that I raise money is just because building a prestige brand is not a cheap endeavor, and going into places like Sephora is not a cheap endeavor. But when it comes to the marketing piece, we've been really economical around building the brand and bringing customers in through word of mouth, activations, really thoughtful brand moments versus this like, early days, I think we were spending like $10K a month on paid marketing. That's like nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, And even now, like, I'd have to check with my team the latest numbers, but it's still like $50K. It's not.
Yeah, there's no Facebook ads running right now.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
That's crazy, by the way.